behind me and look at the future?
That's right. Phone on your forehead. Let me impart some knowledge here.
Okay.
Your ears are clogged, but I'm going to penetrate that thick skull of yours. Where's the damn reverb? Adrian, this is the voice of your future. I look back and I laugh with disgust and disdain at you and your 16-year-old antics. Oh, if only you'd acted the way you... wait a minute. Am I the future? All right, I'm gotten a little confused here. Adrian.
Yes.
You'll never regain this period in your life. Please do not squander it, floundering in the depths of your own insecurity. Go forward, set a precedent for your life. And everything after this will be easy.
Okay.
All right.
Go get him.
And by the way, that lack of caring that you have, Adam, is a sign of gradual central nervous system degeneration.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I was hoping it was something physiological.
It is.
Oh, good.
It's anatomic disruption of your normal architecture.
Listen, I never had normal architecture.
I know that's
thank
true.
you. I'm the Frank Lloyd Wright of architecture.
No, you're flattering yourself.
Well, I mean unconventional, please. But this is an interesting point, and this is a point I'd like to get across to a lot of the people we have listening. You're very pent up when you're young. You're constantly concerned with what people think of you, how people are going to react
but
to you.
Remember, you're still trying to resolve, in adolescence, you're still trying to resolve leftover stuff from your parents, your childhood, and God knows what the hell they've done to you. And that's the stuff you're still trying to slog through in adolescence.
Right.
You don't care as much anymore because you've resolved a lot of that stuff.
Right, but when you get older...
Or in your case, repressed it severely.
Right. Okay. Are you done with the pot shots? Please.
No, I'm just getting started.
Don't make me... I'll start on you, Drew, and you're not going to like it.
No, I will.
The point is you look back and you have regrets because it was all so simple. Why didn't you tell off that gym coach when you had a chance? Why didn't you ask that girl out when you could have? You know what I'm saying? This show is about getting people to do that now. Claire, 24.
Hi, I'm 7.5 months pregnant, and my husband used to want to have sex all the time, and now he never does.
It's good.
And one of the cruel facts of nature is that women's sexual drive tend to go up late in pregnancy. Is that happening to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys sometimes aren't into it. It's not, I don't know that labeled as normal or abnormal, it's just some guy's taste, really.
You labeled me with Fiona Apple. You two jumped up and gang raped me when I said that I would, there's a certain point when a woman becomes mama, I think. And then it's like having sex with mama.
Yeah, so in your mind, your wife can never have kids then. Or if she does have a child, you'll never have sex with her again.
No, because then once the kid gets old enough, then she's no longer mama. You see
how old? How old?
Yeah, how old? Yeah, good question.
Just right after he's born and out of the room.
Not 15.
No, not 15, because then mama starts looking a little like grandmama.
Yeah,
all right.
Really.
Oh no, she's pregnant. She'll go insane.
Yeah.
You're right. Don't do anything. Don't cut out the baby or anything. I was just making a joke, Claire. Just a joke.
Women are very vulnerable.
I understand. The hormones are raging at this point. Claire, here's the situation. And I swear to God, I can't be the only guy who thinks this way. You have this huge thing in your belly that represents his child, and when he has sex with you, it's almost like he's in danger of hurting his own offspring with his penis. It really is.
Yeah.
And there's a whole psychological thing that goes along with that.
Please.
I think you've been very literal about it.
Yeah, I guess I am kind of mechanical, but... all right, I got to find out if I'm a weirdo or not. Hold on a second, Claire.
Yeah, okay.
You see a woman.
There's got to be a better way to ask that question.
You see a slender, beautiful woman, and you look at her as a sexual being. And then you see a woman who's 7.5, 8 months pregnant. And in my mind, she is been pulled out of the ranks of the sexual available and is now
a mother.
That's
very medieval, though. I mean, you sound like a radical, you know.
Well, let's each give wait. Let's give your personal opinion about it, though. Is it attractive to you?
Alex, is it attractive?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not stereotypically attractive. I mean, you don't see pregnant women on the cover of Vogue, do you? Very often.
There's certain magazines,
there are
though.
magazines.
Yes, I know. Damon and
No, wait a minute. What's her name? Did it on Vanity Fair?
Think about Demi Moore.
Demi Moore did.
Never fancied her, though.
Yeah, but that was kind of a goof, in a sense. Or it's not something you see all the time. It's not like, hey, we're having a cattle call for pregnant women. We're doing a cover.
I think it's attractive.
I agree.
Bosoms get bigger as well.
Damon, you think it's attractive?
Yeah,
Wait, give Adam that point of view, too.
the bigger pussies.
I thought he was going to work the Audi belly button angle, but he's working the crotch angle.
No.
True, is that true?
No.
Bigger pussies, what did you think?
What did he say? What did he say?
Breasts, you know?
Oh, breasts. What do you say? What'd you call breasts?
Bosoms?
Oh, bosoms. Oh, for
Bosoms.
Christ's sake. Yeah, put that up. Let me hear that again, Engineer Mike, if you can.
Bosom.
That was Adam West, Batman, by the way. I thought he talking about... All right.
He was talking about bosoms. Because I was the one that asked him to repeat it.
Oh, I see. All right. Yes, bigger bosoms. I'm all about that. But it's all relative. When your abdomen is extended farther than your bosoms, then how big can your bosoms be?
Here's the deal, though, is that women are extraordinarily vulnerable at that stage, and they are really. It is a beautiful feat of nature, and there's something very appealing about it.
And let's not screw it up with our penis. That's all I'm saying.
No, to you who is so frightened by the whole mama aspect that a woman becoming a mother is a horrific transition to you psychologically, and that's what sort of turns you off.
Right.
For those men that have those residual issues, it's going to be tough. But for most men, it can be something to cherish.
All right.
All right?
Well,
so Claire, you'll be fine.
Okay, I did it.
Claire?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Tell him Drew said it was safe.
It is safe, too. That's the other thing. It is
safe. And, Drew, here's my favorite joke. How long can you have sex with a woman while she's pregnant?
What do you mean, how long?
How far into the pregnancy?
Before it's coming down the birth canal, you got to...
All the way up to it.
Yeah.
So, I've said this before. If she's having a C-section, you can be right on top of her in the operating room. Is that what you're saying?
In your boobville, maybe that's the way it'll be done.
All right. Are we going to play... You want to play a song now?
Yeah.
Okay. You queued up there, Engineer Mike? This is new from Blur. It's off of Blur. It's called Song 2. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician, an addiction medicine specialist. And Damon and Alex are here from Blur. And the rest of Blur will be in here during the shift change in about 35 minutes or so. The hell business I want to take care of. Matthew Sweet on Thursday. Just want to respond to a article that Drew brought in. Where's this article from, Drew?
Somewhere in Arizona, but it was somebody we interviewed with in Kansas City.
All right. Here's why you can't believe anything you read. Although, that's why I never read, actually. Thank God I never learned to read.
Yes.
I was never misled this way. Anyway, it's an article about the show, and it says, Adam Carolla, longtime Los Angeles disc jockey and Bachelor. Long-time Los Angeles disc jockey. That's curious, because I've... let me think back. Drew, how many shows have I ever hosted?
One.
One?
This one.
This one.
And by the way, you're not disc jockeying on this show either.
No, but I'll let that one slide. A long-time Los Angeles disc jockey. I've never worked in radio.
Yeah.
I got into radio a year ago.
Yeah.
What is that? Why are they always wrong?
The press is always...
Do you guys get a lot of that?
That's a fairly minor kind of
it is
detail, though.
No, I'm not offended by it, but it's just sort of underscores the point that
people talk.
Thank you. They're inaccurate many times.
Well, you read something about yourself and you think, oh, no one's going to believe that.
You imagine this, though. We say do one interview at the beginning of a sort of an album's life in England, and then it gets service to every single country in the world.
Right.
And sort of 8 months later, you arrive in Singapore, and it's kind of just mutated into a completely different thing, and then everyone in Singapore thinks that you're kind of basically everyone gets it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. You do one interview, it makes the rounds, it gets there well before you do.
Yeah.
And people believe what they read. And
absolutely.
I don't necessarily blame them.
I think Britain has got one of the worst reputations for sort of bad,
journalism?
Yeah, really.
Our
tabloids are appalling.
But you got to be behind the whole page three girl, don't you? I mean, as
long as the pictures are good, who cares?
It's a quasi-dicey journalism when right in the middle of the paper, hey, there's a big busty topless chick. I don't say it's a bad
we
thing.
have daily papers devoted to that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
They come out every day?
Yeah, it's
All
called
right,
The Sport.
Adam's moving to Britain.
All big busted.
Yeah.
They like the big breasts in Europe, in England, don't they?
Not as much as America.
Big ones,
you
small ones.
invented the implants.
That's what I say. God bless America. That's why this country's
That is
number
one
one.
of the worst things about
You don't like
America, is the breast implant. I find it.
But you got to admit, you thought it was cool 10 years ago when only a handful of women had a handful of breast implants.
I didn't really sort of register that. I just thought they had big...
But don't you think it's gone out of vogue because everyone is now into it now, and by the definition, whenever anyone does enough of one thing, it sort of drops out of popularity?
It's not so hip as it was, is it?
No. No, now there's the whole
It's just so anal as well.
You don't agree with that. What if a woman has very small breasts? Would you think it's a good
I like
idea?
that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay, you're out of here, Alex. Go. Take your beer and leave. What name is that? Lucena.
Yes?
Is that your name?
Yes.
All right, you're 17.
Oh, yes. Actually, I'm going to be fawning indulgent for a moment. I'd like to speak with Blur.
Hello.
Sorry. Basically, I love all your records. I have them all. And Park Life inspired me to read London Fields and all that good stuff. But I was curious. You're going to return to Northern California again?
Well, we're going to San Francisco on Thursday.
Oh, really? Crazy. Where are you going to? The Warfield?
Fillmore.
The Fillmore. Okay. Because I heard about it and it's sold out, and I was curious if you're going to return again.
I think we're going to come back in August.
Oh, really? August? Tremendous.
But that might be a secret.
Okay, I won't tell. And basically, I've just purchased Blur, and I think it's brilliant. Oh, it's different than the rest, but I think that's sort of something that the other records were lacking, because I got sort of sick of hearing about like transvestite bank tellers and all that.
Oh, well, that's good.
But
I'm pleased you like it.
But I was.
What's your problem?
Sorry?
Or is that not really what you called for? Well, she's not. I mean,
Just
No,
want
I
to
don't
compliment the
have to-
band.
oh, well, that's great.
No.
Thanks.
I don't really have a problem. I just want to talk to Blur. You get very little press in the United States, and I have to like buy 6
It will all
magazines.
change very soon.
Will it? Because
Yeah.
you're going to take the world by storm?
Well, I'm kind of not bothered about that sort of stuff.
Oh, and
Taking
the other
the world by
question is,
storm.
on a theme from Retro, what does the man say at the end of the song?
Actually, that's tape from a bar in Los Angeles, which we're going to tonight. It was a conversation that we had with this kind of really stereotypical.
Well, he was saying something about like,
Person.
what was he saying exactly? I was sort of trying to figure it out.
He's saying, what's he saying again? What is it?
Something about machinery or
You're
equipment
the
or
only
something.
genuine people in here tonight.
Uh-oh, what is that device there?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what he's
All right,
saying.
Lucena.
Yes, this is tremendous. I'm sorry.
All right, go camp out for those Blur tickets in August.
I live sort of far away, so
Okay, well, bring a jacket
I
then.
will then, okay.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, darling.
Cheers.
All right, I'm sorry, Drew. Stuart, 37.
Hello.
Hey.
First of all, I'd like to say I think you guys are great. Okay, and
Us or Blur?
you guys, Drew, Adam.
No, Blur's good too, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know much about him, but anyway,
It's a thing. Yeah, which one of you is Blur? I forgot to
There you
ask
go.
that.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, what's up?
I suffer from I don't know, lack of better terminology, what I think is called rooster chest, and basically what this comes from is I grew up in a very dysfunctional family with an abusive father, and there was violence involved in a lot of anger and stuff, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was young, and
How did you deal with it?
it was really kind of weird. I spent a lot of time on a river, a certain river where my father took me, and I did a lot of fishing and stuff, and it was really a beautiful place, and something happened there one day, and there was boundaries set. I was only supposed to be on a certain section of the river, and I crossed this boundary and went upstream where I wasn't supposed to be. And I witnessed some people who were in the river. There was divers and stuff, and they were recovering two bodies from the river. And it was like the first time I had ever faced death.
How old were you?
This is like 13, 14.
All right.
Okay, and there was things going on at the home that weren't right, you know, and I didn't know. I knew that situation scared me, you know. I mean, I knew it wasn't right, and I knew I shouldn't have seen it, and I was out of line. I couldn't talk to anybody about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway,
did you hurt somebody?
No. What happened? I just witnessed these people being recovered from the river, and I found out later that it was like this Ted Bundy had killed these people.
All right.
They came to find out later, and I found out later and stuff, and it was a terrible thing. And there was violence around me too, and I didn't know anything about it. And I was
Stuart, what are you getting to for us tonight? What can we do
what
for
I'm
you?
getting to you tonight is that I didn't know how to handle that, and it was like a week after that happened, and there was violence in my house. My father was very angry with my mother, and
Was your dad drinking?
I don't know at that time.
All right.
You know, I don't know. I just know that there was violence. My mother had like fallen into the laundry room, and my father was over the top of her, and you know it wasn't good. And I was scared, and I had all this happening, and I jumped up in between him and my mother, and I said, "No, don't hit my mother anymore." You know, I mean, I was upset about it.
That's appropriate.
And he stopped. You know, his eyes got all big, and he stopped, and he didn't do it anymore.
Good.
And so I jumped up, and I like had this rooster thing. I mean, I was loud, you know, and I was.
So that's where you first learned how to do that.
Yeah, and I was imposing.
Do you get a lot? You get in a lot of fights and stuff now?
No, I don't get in a lot of fights, but when violence is around me or something that I'm fearful of or I don't understand, you know, I will like get the rooster chest.
You'll jump in the middle of it.
And show that this is not something that you want to do.
Okay.
You know.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a carpenter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because I've worked with these guys my whole life. Do you have guns?
No.
Oh, really? You just kill people with hammers?
No.
All right. Stuart, what do you do? Framing, finish?
Start to finish.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Could have used this guy a couple weeks
I
ago.
certainly could have. All right, Stuart, you have sort of a chip on your shoulder.
Okay.
No, but it's an interesting.
But it's a good chip.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's an
at least
interesting-
it started for a good reason. It was nice you're courageous enough to stand up to your abusive father, but now it's turned into a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's affecting your relationships.
Well, that's my problem. My real problem right now is that this person that I really care for and stuff, we've had some problems with communications and stuff, and I feel like I have had a rooster chest, and I asked her if she's afraid of me or if she thinks I would hurt her or her animals and stuff, and she tells me no, I'm not afraid of that. I just don't like the way you act sometimes and the choices that you've made.
All right, but Stuart, don't feel bad about your rooster chest. I myself have a baboon ass.
Okay.
So we all have our crosses to bear.
All right, but
it's very
Stuart-
red and bulbous.
Stuart, the issue in your relationship is probably not so much the way you defend against crises, which is really what you're talking about. I mean, you get involved in these sort of critical interactions amongst people and throw yourself into them and try to break them up. It's probably more a function of how you relate to other people in relationships just by virtue of having been in such abusive family circumstances. I mean, you can't come through that kind of a family system without being severely injured characterologically in terms of your emotional makeup.
And in terms of emotional makeup, discovering bodies, never a good thing.
Well,
It really isn't.
But having
I don't
vivid-
care how much you want to argue with
Yeah.
me. You'll never convince me that
But-
discovering bodies is a good thing at 13.
That and having vivid memories about it and unresolved issues about it, and then all this anger and chaos that sort of erupts out of it. The problem here is that there's no way you could be anything other than abusive in relationships or create abusive relationships. You're either going to be abused or create abuse in some fashion, because that's what relationships are to you. That's what you act out.
Yeah, and if you're a guy, you're going to do the abusing, and if you're a girl, you'll be the abusee.
Typically, and so that's what you've seen, and that's what you know, and that's undoubtedly what you're doing to your girlfriend. So it's not so much that you are puffed up in a crisis. It's that in general you probably are pretty non-empathic to your girlfriend, and probably fairly abusive. And look at that, and look at those behaviors, and see if you can really try to put yourself in her position whenever you're sort of behaving in one of these ways that you call the rooster chest.
All right, so you know what you're doing. You've intellectualized it. Now you got to start living it.
And changing it.
Yes, and we'll be back with Blur. Phone number for Loveline, 1-800-LOVE-191, fax number 310-854-4455. Damon and Alex are here from Blur. Graham and Dave will be in here in a few minutes, and don't argue with Drew about drugs. The great thing about arguing with to people about drugs
arguing, I was just
Or
discussing.
Yes, bringing up a point. It was you're an intelligent guy. The problem is Drew sits with his nose buried in literature about the stuff that you're talking about all day long, and so he throws something back in your face. And it's good to argue about drugs, or at least debate about drugs, with people that are high, because
Well, it's
then they have
interesting
no comeback.
Well,
And Drew over here has never done a drug in his life, but claims to know more about it than anyone on the planet. And here's the situation. I think, because we're talking during the commercial with Blur about legalizing it in the UK, and other problems that we have here, such as gun control and stuff like that. Ever since this incident in, what was it? Was it Ireland?
Dunblane, no, in Scotland.
Scotland. Where some guy basically got an assault weapon. He walked into a preschool or
Kindergarten. Primary school.
And how many people did he kill?
30-something.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that many. It was most of a classroom of infants and a teacher.
Yeah, which was about 30 people.
Bit of a mess.
It was 30-something.
It was horrific.
And so they've said over there in the UK, they've said, okay, no more assault rifles. And here we've had many incidents as well, and we're laying down the law by saying...
Give the police more assault rifles.
See, we have a little different approach here, yes. You guys would say, let's get rid of assault rifles. We would say, we got to give the kids weapons.
Defend themselves.
If some of those preschoolers had their own weapons, perhaps armor-piercing bullets, and maybe some body armor... granted, a few of them would have died, but the ones that weren't hit initially could have returned fire. And I think that's the argument we would make here in the United States. Okay, and as far as drugs go, it's we all know, you can read all your literature, some of it I would label propaganda on marijuana, and spew out how addicting it is and how this and how. Yes, a lot of the stuff you spew out about marijuana is completely false. It really is.
Wait, you must not take that position, because I only am telling you what I observe in a daily setting dealing with people addicted to that drug. That's all I'm reporting. I'm reporting. That's all I'm doing, is reporting my observations.
You're reporting a segment of society that has lost control.
Yeah.
A very, very small proportion that represents this pin, the head of the pin of the marijuana people that have lost control. Meanwhile, I hang out with guys that toke out every day and have held their jobs, held their relationships, and hasn't significantly affected them.
Yeah.
Much like people that have a few beers every night.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, eventually they'll die. But so will you.
Something or other.
True, and when you go, you're going to take all that drug use. That's on your deathbed. You're going to go, I wish I'd done crack. Just once. Just once. That's what Drew, that's going to be Drew's last words is, where's the crack? All right. Patrick, 20, you're on Loveline with Blur.
Hi, Adam. Dr. Drew. I love your guys' show, and I think it's very informative, very entertaining.
Thanks.
But I'd like to talk to Damon and Alex tonight. I saw you guys in Chicago on Saturday.
Yeah.
I just want to say you guys played a great show.
Thanks.
And I know Graham's not in the room, but I was hoping he'd do You're So Great, but that's all right. I want to say I love your guys' new album. I like the new sound, and even though you're not using brass and strings, you guys still sound great.
Cheers.
And I know you just played her a couple days ago, but do you know when you'll be back?
August.
August?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. I was thinking I was going to have to wait another year.
No. We're probably, we're going to make an issue of America this year, I think.
So you'll be in San Francisco and then in Chicago. You're calling from Chicago, Patrick?
Yeah.
In August.
Oh, wow.
Okay. They're also going to be in Japan.
Oh, all right.
And
Australia,
Australia,
Singapore, Belgium, France, Sweden, Norway.
All in August.
Thailand,
and all about the middle of August. So
I'll make the rounds.
okay.
And
yeah, why don't you follow the band around on their tour?
Sounds like a good idea. I just wanted to thank you guys for putting your chords in the CD jacket with the lyrics, because my band uses them all the time for covering songs.
Oh.
So I just wanted to say thanks.
Was that your intention?
It's a pleasure.
All right, Patrick.
All right, thanks a lot.
Patrick, do you sing in the band?
No, I play bass.
Okay.
Good man.
All right, so you don't get the chicks.
Yeah,
Except
bass players
Alex gets none of the chicks.
Bass
yeah.
players get the chicks, singers get the money.
Yeah.
Well, and then when you have the money, you can go out and buy some women. Patrick.
Yeah.
Keep going with the band.
All right, thanks.
And start making your own music. Quit ripping off Blur.
All right, thanks.
All right. Robert, 27.
Howdy.
Hey.
Hi.
What's going on, Robert?
Well, in November, they had to take a tumor out of my head, take most of my right temple lobe.
Uh-huh.
And I had quite a few side effects beforehand.
Uh-huh. You had seizures?
Yeah, severe seizures, 3 to 4 a day, grand mal.
Okay.
But on top of that, being left-handed, them taking most of my right temple lobe out, they had to teach me to read and write and do a lot of that stuff all over again.
Hold on a second, Robert. How much of the temple lobe can one do without?
Temporal lobe.
Temporal.
Well, according to them,
I mean, you could have, well,
I guess less than what they thought. Because they told me more than likely after my surgery I'd probably be a vegetable because being left-handed, my right temple lobe controls most of everything.
It's language.
All the language.
That's his dominant hemiphere, and so language and whatnot is in there.
Right. And because of where my tumor was in my temple lobe, it was in the canal between the two temple lobes, but it attached itself to the right temple lobe.
Right.
I don't want to get too graphic here, but Drew, how do they get at that? They have to remove the skull.
Yeah, they removed a 3-inch by 5-inch piece out of my skull.
Oh, that's way too big. How many pieces are your skull? Is your skull in?
Well, you saw it. You drill in and you connect the dots and you pull it up.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying: is your skull like how
it's one big piece.
Plate tectonics work? Where it's like you got the crust of the Earth, but then you have these.
Well, how many sutures are there? You're asking how many fault lines are there?
There are fault lines running through things.
Oh God!
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like draw the thing, and then what do they do? I mean, they drill out where they connect, and then they pull the thing off.
Oh no, they just drill where they need to go for the tumor, and just pop it out.
They showed me the stuff that they use, and it basically was a regular air-powered cutoff tool.
Pneumatic stuff.
Right.
Oh, stuff they use at like the body shop.
Exactly, like you cut sheet metal up with.
No. Oh, okay. All right.
I'll tell you, it's real scary, especially being 27, having 3 young kids.
Oh my God, you have 3 kids.
Yeah, and on top of that, I went to 6 doctors before, and because of where it is and me being left-handed, nobody wanted to touch it.
Yeah, I bet.
And in fact, in 3 months, it went from 6 millimeters to a little bigger than a golf ball.
Wow.
All right, I know you guys aren't on the metric system, but 6 millimeters is
about the size
thumbnail.
of your pinky tip.
Yeah, your thumbnail.
6 millimeters is a little smaller than a 1/4 inch.
Right.
I used to work at a European cabinet shop, and 26 millimeters per inch is what I figured out.
All right, Robert, how can we help you tonight?
Well, for one, I want to know how common it is for people my age to have a tumor, especially one.
Very rare.
The type I have is astrocytoma.
You have an astrocytoma?
Yeah, astrocytoma.
Are they giving you radiation now, too?
Hopefully not. I still have to wait.
Okay.
It's a what?
Astrocytoma.
The one you mentioned is the name of George Jetson's dog, by the way, Robert. This is a different thing. All right, but you sound like you came through it okay.
Well, I came through it great, and the only way I can figure I came through it was because of the will of God.
Mm-hmm. All right, but who put the tumor there? You got to figure God in on both ends of this one.
I have a hard time figuring God would deliberately make you suffer.
Hold on, producer Ann had a good point. The devil put the tumor there.
That's right.
And was the will of God that made you come through the surgery.
What are you doing for your kids?
When you get 5 doctors saying you have 8 months to live at the rate it's growing.
What are you doing for your kids right now?
What am I doing for my kids?
Yeah, I mean, how are you caring for them? How are you preparing them?
My wife is doing a lot of it.
Yeah. How is she doing?
She has done great for it. I'll tell you, if it wouldn't have been for her, I probably wouldn't have made it through the emotional state of it just alone.
How did this present initially? Just tell us how you figured out there's something
wrong. It started with severe headaches at first.
Okay. And then what?
And then it grew from there, and they got worse.
How long did it take you to get into the doctor?
I had a fainting spell after the headaches had started for a couple weeks.
Yeah. All right.
And they rushed me to the emergency room from work. Well, they immediately, from the symptoms, thought it was an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Or spinal meningitis.
Right. Okay.
All right, Robert, you're very courageous. Good luck. This is
I'd like to talk to his wife. If you guys want to maybe switch, see if Robert's wife is available, maybe just put her on the line. That'd be interesting to talk to her. I mean, that's really where the Loveline problem is right there.
How's he doing? What kind of tumor is this? It's not a good one. But they removed it. No. Why not?
Let's just...
Okay.
We talk about that Robert on the line.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's up to date on everything, don't you think? Okay. All right. How's the tour going, guys? Good? Okay.
Really well.
All right. Okay. You know, my job is to make fun of people when they call in, but the brain tumor, it's really difficult. I have, reservations about making fun of anybody or poking fun at anybody who's had part of their skull removed so that they could get at a golf ball size tumor. But he was pretty lucid. And his vocabulary was bigger than most people in radio.
If anybody wants to know about how...
He really could get into radio. He could still work radio.
How protein and variable the effects of injury to various regions of the brain can be, I can recommend a book called The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat.
Yeah, Sachs.
Yeah, great book. He wrote another, he just wrote another one, I forget the name of it offhand.
Well, how do you know that book, Damon?
Because I'm not an illiterate idiot.
Oh, okay. I was all wrong about the band. All right. Because I've just revelation. Attention. Damon is not an illiterate idiot, and for that he must leave.
I am actually.
Robert's wife is on the line.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll talk to Robert's wife. Graham and Dave are going to come in, and then maybe we'll have Alex and Damon back, and we'll have one big whack fest at the end here. We'll pat each other on the fanny. All right, Dave and Graham are here from Blur. Damon and Alex have stepped out for a beer and a powder. How can you guys drink Budweiser, by the way, after being from England and enjoying all that great beer there?
You're speaking to the sober half of Blur.
Oh, okay. Are you guys deliberately sober?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Are you both sober?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How long you been sober?
Him for longer, me since June. 8 months. 4 years for me, something like that.
Oh, congratulations. Do they have all the same 12-step programs and all that AA and everything in England?
I'm sure they do. I think it's worldwide.
Are you involved with that?
No.
You just did it on your own?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Drew says you'll relapse. What do you...
No, it's no big problem. It's just, personal thing.
Right. So you weren't, what was it, booze or drugs or what was it?
Booze, yeah.
And...
Addicted to haircuts, look.
Yeah. That's all right. It looks in today. I can't do anything with my hair. You want to see my hair?
Yeah.
No, seriously. Seriously. Drew, cover for a second.
Turn the other way. All right. Oh, can't stand it. What is that? What is that?
It's hair.
Oh.
It's like a fleece.
It's like an eagle.
I have the hair of a black man.
All right.
And
let's get on with it.
Give it back then.
The body of an albino. All right. When we left off, we were speaking to Robert. Robert had a very serious brain surgery. He had a golf ball size tumor removed from his frontal lobe, was it?
Temporal lobe.
Temporal lobe. Where is that?
Right here. Right here.
How many lobes do you have? How many do I have?
Occipital, temporal, parietal, frontal, 4.
4. Okay. Which one's, what's the most important lobe?
Frontal.
Oh, frontal.
Parietal. Well, these are where you're...
Is there anything I can
spare?
spare?
No,
is there anything?
No.
Okay.
All very important.
Okay. And
in fact, you would have like personality changes and things just from opening your skull. And if somebody were to do something like touch a finger to the surface of your brain, millions of brain cells would be destroyed.
Is it true that some of your soul leaks out when you do that?
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
I'm very superstitious.
Yes, indeed you are.
All right. So Robert had this surgery. Robert seems to be doing remarkably well considering what he's been through, but the diagnosis is not a good one.
All right, let's hear. We want to talk to his wife because they have 3 kids. We want to hear what's going on. Charlotte?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, how's it going there?
Good.
Did you know that Robert called us?
Yes.
Okay. How are you dealing with all this?
Pretty good.
Really?
Doing real good, yeah. Better now.
It's what? Better now?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Oh, just in the beginning, it was a little scary.
Yeah, I imagine it would still be pretty scary, no?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have 3 kids?
Yes.
How old are they?
7, 5, and 4.
And is Robert going to get some radiation? Is that the next step here?
We're not sure. We're still waiting. I don't think so.
What is it you're waiting on?
They're running more tests.
To see what?
To see if it was cancerous.
So you don't have a cell type yet, huh?
Mm-mm.
How long does that take?
He said astrocytoma, though. Is that not accurate yet?
Oh, yes. That means it's not right.
Well, no, that means it's pretty serious.
Astrocyte. What is that? Is it a form of cancer?
It's a tumor. I mean, it's astrocyte tumor. It's astrocytoma.
Well, no duh. But they removed the tumor, and now they have to biopsy the tumor?
I don't know what kind of test.
They already did that.
What kind of tests are they running now? Charlotte?
Yes.
What kind of tests are they running now?
I don't know what kind of test. We're just, they ran a few tests like the EEG.
Charlotte.
Yes.
Are you nervous? Or are you in some form of denial, or what's going on?
Oh, I'm just a little nervous.
Nervous about being on the radio?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, that's fine.
You
can get over that.
You have friends or family to support you, that sort of thing? I mean, how are you dealing with all this?
I do. We have lots of family that comes around and helps, and
Okay.
we go to church, and that really helps. Our pastor's really good with that.
Okay.
And how's the what do you call it? The prognosis? I mean, where do you go from here? He's not getting radiation
No.
treatment,
Mm-mm.
and why not?
They think he's okay. They think he's, out of danger.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Is that for the?
You all right with that, Drew?
I'm not treating these folks. I don't know what. I don't. It's not appropriate for me to comment since I don't have the actual facts.
All right.
You understand?
Yes.
And I don't want to say anything that is going to be overly optimistic or overly pessimistic. It's not fair to Robert or Charlotte.
All right.
They need to be real clear. Charlotte, stay with him for a second, but to be real clear that you communicate specifically with your physicians. Ask all the questions you possibly can. Write everything down. Make sure you hear and understand what they're telling you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's great that you have the support of the family. I really, you're sort of the Loveline caller here, not Robert. And Robert's doing good. He's okay, and he's out of harm's way at the moment, and he's comfortable. It's all sort of falling on your shoulders, and that's why I was interested in talking to you. I mean, take care of your kids, be good to yourself, stay connected with your family. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, Charlotte.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep going.
All right. You don't trust the diagnosis of the doctor, though, Drew?
No, I don't know what the diagnosis is. I don't know what she knows and doesn't know. I don't know what.
All right.
I need a lot more information.
No.
Let's put it this way: anything goes on inside your head, it's a bad thing.
Anything,
if
even
it's not a totally benign tumor, it is a very bad thing.
Okay, Josh, 21.
Yeah, I was wondering, I know there's such thing as an LSD flashback, but is there such thing as a methamphetamine flashback?
Not really. Why? What's happening to you?
Well, it seems, especially if I'm at work, if I'm doing something really repetitive, and working real hard, I seem to feel almost as if I'm on the drug itself.
Do you get panicky?
Yeah, well, not really panicky, but, I just feel, just the tweaked outness, the kind of shaky.
You get paranoid?
A little, and I even seem to have trouble getting to sleep at night on those days.
Where do you work?
I do construction.
Oh, all right. What kind of construction?
Drywall.
Okay. Listen, your mind is bound to play tricks on you. You do piecework or you work by the hour?
I work by the hour.
All right. This is the world's worst job. Drywall. I used to hang drywall. You have a few choices. You're either schlepping the drywall from wherever the drywall truck dropped it off, or you're just hanging it piece after piece after piece, screw after screw after screw. It is thankless, repetitive, back-breaking work, and your mind is bound to go other places.
How long ago did you get off speed again?
How long have I been off it?
Yeah.
I've been off speed for, I think, a year and 2 months now.
All right. You using anything else right now?
No, I've been clean. It'll be a year on the 1st.
Congratulations. All right. The deal is that cocaine and speed, sometimes you can get panic attacks. It's pretty good with cocaine. It's very common, and the panic may not begin until years later after you stop using the cocaine. So you may just be having sort of these episodes of panic, really, or anxiety, and you feel kind of charged up and sped up, but in fact it's really more a reaction of anxiety. There also are some people that get manic depressive illness. They usually develop it while they're using, and it can sort of come on again later on, but you're not really describing that either. So.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Tell Drew what dunnage is.
Dunnage?
Yes.
Weed?
What's dunnage?
You're not a real drywaller, are you, Josh?
What? No. No, I am. Seriously. What do you mean by dunnage?
Dunnage is what they put the drywall on when they stack it. Those little broken pieces of drywall.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't do the stacking. It's already stocked when we get to the house.
All right, Josh. I don't know. Is that the greatest word in the world? Dunnage?
That sounds very Anglo-Saxon, doesn't it? I don't even know what drywall is, actually.
That's what you guys would call lath and plaster. JP.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what do you call drywall in England? Hold on, JP.
I've no idea.
Like wallboard.
Oh, plasterboard, I suppose.
Plasterboard.
Right.
Oh, okay. JP,
What's going on, man?
you're 18.
Correct.
What's your question?
I don't have a question. I called you last week, Drew. I have a problem. As I told you, I have a severe problem with crystal meth. Doing about a half a gram to a gram to a day, and I've been staying off of it. I've stayed off of it since the night I talked to you.
Right, I remember this.
Right.
You don't remember this, Drew?
Go ahead.
And I met this girl. I've been going to a 12-step recovery program. I assume you would know which one this is.
Right, and I'm sure you also recall that no new relationships for at least 6 to 12 months.
Exactly. Well, I did meet a girl.
Oh, wait a minute. What kind of program is that?
Pardon?
No relationships.
No relationships, period. No sexual interest whatsoever. None. Anyway, this girl, she's very attractive, extremely attractive. I did not know what to do with this girl. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I went back to her apartment, and I know I should be able to say this over there. She wanted me to defecate on her, period.
Uh-huh.
I found it kind of repulsive, but I didn't know what to do, so I left.
Good. Okay, that's that.
What do I do? This girl's 31 years old.
Yeah, but JP, no new relations.
No new relations?
Right? Isn't that the part of the program?
Not even ones involving defecation, Drew. Certainly,
those
you'd think the powers that be would look the other way when they heard there was defecation involved.
Relationships are supposedly the 13th step, aren't they?
That's correct.
But listen,
and that is what you do not want to do.
Let me ask you something, Drew. Is going over to a strange woman's house and defecating on her a relationship, or
Yes,
isn't that more of just a weekend?
I think
That's a relationship.
Depends on whether you got toilet paper.
Yeah.
It was just a one-time thing.
No relationships.
That's not a relationship, Drew. Crapping on someone is not a relationship. Listen, when a guy goes in and holds up a liquor store, is that a relationship he's having with the guy behind the counter, or is he just holding the place up?
Also, not consistent with good sobriety. So, I mean, you don't want to engage in these bizarre activities.
Well,
really.
what if it is something that exists within sobriety that I may want to take partake in?
Well, wait till you've been sober a year and then reconsider it.
Was she sober as well?
She was very sober, of course. She's in NA.
How long has she been in NA?
About a year. She's been clean, off of drugs completely.
She's been in NA that whole year?
Correct.
Well, you got to go into DA, Dookie Anonymous.
Dookie Anonymous?
So she's been sober for a year and still, God knows what this woman was into when she was high. I mean,
It boggles the mind.
It does boggle the mind. Think about this. This woman has been sober for an entire year, and she invites a strange 18-year-old guy to come over and defecate on her. Imagine when she was effed up on heroin and booze.
She must be English, that's all I can think.
Is she English?
Well, yes, she is from America. She's been off drugs for quite some time now. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she has been off tweak for a week, and I'm still fucked in the gourd. I mean,
all right. Have the dignity to put them in separate sentences. JP.
Correct.
How did she broach the whole defecation topic? Because I'm curious about this. Did she ask you if you wanted something to drink, and then made some small talk about the weather, and then went right into the defecation? How did she get into that with you?
Well, I went to her apartment, and I made out with her for a while, and I did my thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, what do you mean?
The clothes were off. It was about that time.
All right, but let's, Mike, no.
I want to know how she brought up the defecation.
That's fine, but no new relation.
It's not a relationship.
You're not even beginning your sobriety yet.
Don't
tell yourself you're in sobriety, because you're not.
Is the cat dating its litter box, Drew? No. It's not a relationship. I don't have a relationship with my toilet, Drew.
You better not. Don't support him on this one. No new relationship.
Drew.
Right? Yeah.
I'm extremely, extremely glad that I wasn't on heroin, because I would have been totally constipated. I wouldn't have been able to perform this.
And did she want you to defecate where?
In her living room. This was on her couch.
I can't. Let's forget this.
Not on her, though. Just in the living room.
This is BS.
No, on her.
Okay.
She wanted this.
Okay. All right. She's very healthy.
Very healthy.
Yes.
Well,
listen, take her camping. Because this is a problem people have. They go camping, they don't know where they're going to do it. They do it at the filling station down the mountain, and then they go up the hill. This would solve that problem. It's like a porta potty. Bring her to one of those big outdoor concerts. It'll save a lot of money. People have been waiting in line to defecate on her. All right, JP screwed up, right, Drew?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Okay. Matt, 16.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
And Drew hears a lot of calls, JP, and when he labels someone a mess, it's like calling a 3 Mile Island a minor ecological incident. That's right. It's like calling the Exxon Valdez, the guy dropped a cord of 30 weight over the bow of a fishing trawler. Matt.
Yeah.
All right, hurry, because we got to get to a Blur song.
Yeah, okay, this is cool. Blair kicks butt. You and Adam, and Drew and Adam, you guys kick ass.
I want to have...
Yeah,
It's a very subtle distinction you've drawn there. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, yeah, and you too, Blair.
That's it? What in the hell is going on tonight?
I don't know. It's a very bizarre night. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play a song from Blur off the Blur CD, and we'll regroup. And perhaps I'll straighten Drew out on the whole defecation thing. Is number 1 okay, Drew, or... No. Okay. Look Inside America is the name of the song. Blur is the name of the band, and give it a listen. Look Inside America from Blur, off of Blur, and we got ourselves a little fax that says how many bones in the face, how many bones in the head, and 8 bones in the skull. I think I have 9. Yes. All right. Drew, I know radio is a very interesting and new dynamic for you going on your 15th year here on Loveline, but the microphone, that's something that you would want to speak into. It's really the only way people can. It's like when you're home, they can't hear you, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're too far from the mic.
All right.
Okay.
Then we go to commercial.
Great. So we just missed the information you were talking about.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. All right, that's good radio. All right, we'll be back with a more bizarre show with Blur. The Squirrel Nut Zippers. Nice guys, except for, what's his name?
Who?
Who was the guy from the Squirrel Nut Zippers? I'll never have to do this with Blur, but was it Tom? Once in a while we have a guest. I shut his microphone off 15 times.
Yes,
Did I not?
Yes.
The guy was getting out of hand. I just said, Engineer Mike, shut off his microphone. And he shut it right off. And he'll do it. Why? Engineer Mike, shut off Drew's microphone. All right, try to talk, Drew. All right, come on, don't be an a-hole. All right, let me try to talk into your mic. Test 1, 2. See, it doesn't work. That's what I love. I love when he does my bidding. All right, Graham and Dave are here. All right, no, okay. All right, enough's enough, Engineer Mike. It's not funny anymore. Graham and Dave are here from Blur. Damon and Alex were in here, and now they're out of here. And maybe we'll have a big reunion in here in a few minutes. But we're during the commercial, we're talking. Drew's house is flooded last night. His wife called crying at 11:30 last night, wanted to talk to me about how to get the water. Like I'm the Pied Piper of Pasadena or something. How to remove all this water because the kid stuffed something in the toilet, right?
Right.
And let me tell you a toilet story.
Well, and by the way, Adam was very assuring. He goes, "Oh, you get a broom, get the water out, just turn on the heat, open the windows, everything will be fine." I went home last night. The house was under water. We had to have a crew of people in there at 1 in the morning.
Were you able to sleep?
Beautiful. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I'll bet. All this stuff going on.
The blowers turned on. They're ripping the carpet up, taking a huge bags of the padding underneath. All the padding gone.
Oh, they pulled the carpet up.
Oh, everything's gone.
Oh, you're screwed. Any of them take liberties with Susan? No. Sometimes when you call guys in late night, to work, they think that means something else.
Yeah, very evil, man. Very evil.
One time, let me give you a quick toilet story. It has nothing to do with dookie or excrement or anything like that, I promise you. I was watching a friend of mine's dog, and great chocolate lab. And the dog played with a hard rubber ball. It was the size of a tennis ball, but it was pure rubber, hard as a rock. And the dog used to drink from the toilet. And the dog dropped the ball into the toilet. And the ball went down just out of sight and wedged itself into the toilet. And lo and behold, the toilet starts overflowing some hours later, and but I can fix stuff myself. So I say, okay, I'm going to handle this. So first thing I do is I go rent one of those snakes. And do they call a snake? In England, they call everything something else. They call it like a...
Snake's a snake in England.
Yeah, it is. A plumber's snake.
I wouldn't force one down the loo.
It's a metal thing with like a handle on it. And so there I am, and I'm pushing it into the toilet, and I'm trying to, and it stops because this rubber ball.
Did you know the ball was in there?
I had no idea.
All right.
And the rubber ball's out of my sight, and the rubber ball is an inch bigger or half an inch bigger than the diameter of the hole it needs to fit through, and it's pure rubber. And I'm taking this snake, man, and I am just doing battle with this toilet like Excalibur, trying to remove the sword from the rock. I mean, I am fighting with thing. I'm ramming, and I can't. And it's all bunching up in there, and I can't see a thing, and it doesn't do anything. So my next move is I pull the toilet. I actually unbolt the toilet. I've done this many a time. I remove the toilet, and I look down the hole there.
It's not there.
Nothing going on there. Now, I've established that the toilet isn't the problem because there's only about 3 inches of the toilet that I can't see. There's a little jog at the bottom of the toilet, a little trap that traps air so it doesn't get the sewer smell coming right back up. And that's where the ball is. Now, someone tells me, get up on the roof, stick a hose down the vent pipe, which goes up to the roof, and turn it on full. And that'll blow something must be in that vent. I'm up on the roof. I'm down on the thing. The toilet's removed. It's in the living room at this point. I'm ramming stuff into it. And I think I just took a crap in the hole in the floor from that point on.
I had a much better story in my head then than what you were telling. I thought you were going to say the dog tried to follow the ball down and got his snout stuck around the U-bend or something.
That would have been and I put the snake in the dog's ass trying to get through to the ball. That would have been better radio. Mike, 20, you're on Loveline.
Hey guys, what's up?
Nothing.
First of all, I have to say, Blur, you guys are cool. I've just heard your 2 songs on here, and you guys sound pretty good.
Thank you.
Adam and Drew, I've been listening for a long time. You guys are cool. But I gotta say something to Drew. I agree with your philosophy on acid and how bad it is, because I just took, a couple days ago, I took 3 hits, and I watched, Adam would know this, but I watched The Wall, got really into it.
Right.
And
that's Pink Floyd, right?
Yeah. Forgot to breathe.
Really?
I was so messed up, I forgot to breathe.
Wouldn't that be something that you would do? There's certain things that you do, like it's like your heart doesn't forget to beat.
Yeah, but one of the things that sedating substances do is suppress your respirations, and that's how you die of drug use.
But is that forgetting to breathe, or
no?
Is that,
it's an effect of the drug.
I figured that. I was, messed up on acid pretty much, and
you took 3 tabs, huh?
Well, yeah, I took. They were like white blotter, and I took each of them 2 hours apart.
Yeah, let me ask you this: I've all I've taken is half a tab of acid in my entire life, and that was spread out over 6 years. So I really didn't feel any effect. No, I did that one day. But the point is this: how much more effed up could you be? You know what I mean? I mean, 2 tabs of acid. Wouldn't that? How much further do you need to go?
Well, the Wall isn't going to take you any further, is it?
Well, this stuff was. You take this and you're pretty much tripping for 12 hours straight.
Nightmare.
I drank a Mountain Dew and watched Stop Making Sense once, and that's as close as I've ever come to this one. All right, so you took 3 tabs. You forgot to breathe.
Yeah,
And what finally reminded you?
Well, I just kind of was sitting there. I'd started the movie again, and it got maybe 5 minutes into it, and then realized I haven't taken a breath in a while. And then at that time, it was so forceful that I had to, I guess the body kicked in, and I threw up trying to open up my wind tunnel. And I sat there for 5 minutes and was super hyperventilating.
But so what is your, where do you disagree with Drew?
Well, I don't disagree with Drew. I agree with Drew on on the philosophy of drug use, because if you can get that screwed up that you forget to breathe, then what else are you going to forget? And
well, how do you think people die from drug use?
Yeah, I came close to dying.
And
scared.
Maybe he was eating something and forgot.